Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to be learning how to become this kind and firm parent. Hello, it's Kristen Ancker, your parent empowerment coach, and I'm going to try to keep all of these videos below 10 minutes, but I want to teach you valuable tools and hopefully shift and change your perception. I am here as a fellow traveler. As I said in the first video, I have 3 children of my own. My oldest is 16, I have a 14-year-old, and I have an 11-year-old, 2 girls and a boy. And so I have a lot of on-the-job training, but as I said too, I started my parenting becoming a positive discipline facilitator, first as a parent educator and then as a teacher educator. And then I even learned more on how to use these positive discipline, it's positive psychology tools on myself. And how do I encourage others, other adults, on how to use these tools on ourselves so we could possibly also reparent maybe our inner child or reparent how we were parented. So many of us, I am not sure how your family was. We all have different unique early childhood experiences, and sometimes we might take those into our parenting, and sometimes we're going to do the exact opposite. So in this video, we're going to be learning about these 4 different types of parents, and then how to be that positive discipline parent. So being kind and firm at the same time. Many parents feel guilty most of the time because they're either too controlling, too firm, I'm the boss, or they're too permissive and a little wishy-washy. And some might be a little combination of controlling and permissive, shifting between those 2 extremes, but they're not consistent. So we're going to be looking for that consistency. The challenge is to be both kind and firm at the same time. Kind and firm at the same time is proactive. The kind and firm parent steps back and thinks before they act instead of reacting to something when it happens. The kind and firm parent looks for solutions instead of blame and realizes that the person who can and must change first is the parent. The bossy parent looks for blame or fault and relies on punishment as the primary discipline tool. The wishy-washy parent tends to feel sorry for their children when they mess up and rescue them, not letting them learn from their behavior and not giving the child the opportunity to develop the belief, I am capable. Okay, so what does this look like? I am going to show you a chart that I did in a previous workshop with parents. So, and I know that the writing might be backwards for you, and I apologize, but I want you to get the idea. We're going to look at kindness and firmness like on an axis. So, what does the 4 parenting styles, and this was a study done by, I believe it's Diana Baumrind, but I'll make sure to write that in the email. And she looked at these 4 different parenting styles. And if you were, we're going to look in this quadrant first, because we're not going to talk about this one much. If you're not kind at all and you're not firm, that's called a neglectful parent. So you're not kind, you're not firm. Maybe you're not even in the picture. You're not a part of the family, or you maybe have an addiction or something, and you're not there mentally and physically. So that's a neglectful parent. And then if we go to the, we'll go to this side over here next. So we're going to kind of go in this order. This parent is not very kind at all, but they're really firm. They're really firm. So that's called authoritarian parent. And we kind of brainstormed and we said, oh, there's like no choice. It's that bossy parent that I was just referring to. And then if we look up here in this quadrant, this is very kind, but not very firm. So that's that permissive parent. They're a permissive parent. You know, maybe there's freedom with no limits. You know, there's lots of screen time, lots of TV. And like we said, the child doesn't have the ability to develop that capability or respect, and it's not developed respect. And what I love, Jane Nelson is one of the founders of Positive Discipline, Jane Nelson and Lynn Lott. And she says, and she had 7 children of her own. I think she has many, many grandchildren. She said if she could learn one tool as a parent, it would be this, you know, how to be kind and firm at the same time. Because where she found herself is she would be, you know, a little too permissive until she was like getting walked all over, she said. So then she would be very authoritarian and lay down the law. And then she didn't like herself anymore and she felt bad because she was being so bossy. And then she would go back to being permissive. And it was just this constant going back and forth from being too controlling and then to be too permissive. And the inconsistency, what we talked about before. So what we're going to try to do in the next sessions, you are going to learn how to be very kind and very firm. And that is that positive discipline parent, and that's called authoritative parenting. Authoritative parenting is kind and firm at the same time. I'm going to put this down because my arm's getting tired. But one of the, there's, you know, usually different experiential lessons that we do in person at our workshops. But I want to just share a few tools and what it sounds like of the importance of being kind and firm. So I'm just going to reread this part and read a few of these ideas. Some parents are kind but not firm, and others are firm but not kind. Many parents vacillate between the two, being too kind until they can't stand their kids, who develop an entitlement attitude, and then being too firm until they can't stand themselves, feeling like a tyrant. So a foundation of positive discipline is to be kind and firm at the same time. So a few examples. The first one is to validate feelings. We are going to learn to validate feelings. I know it's hard to stop playing, and it's time for dinner. I know it's hard to stop playing, and it's time for school. So the and is the one you're going to be listening for. The next one is to show understanding. I can understand that you'd rather play on your iPad first than do your homework. And homework needs to be done first. Showing understanding. So you're showing understanding, and this is the boundary. This is the rule. Homework's done first. Redirection. It could look like redirection. You don't want to brush your teeth, and let's do it together. You know, or making a game out of it. You want to race up to the bathroom to see who can get there first? Redirection. Especially young children, redirection and distraction work really, really well. Sometimes you can just kind of ignore the misbehavior because maybe that misbehavior is, are they hungry? Are they tired? Are they, you know, there's some bodily needs that need to happen. So sometimes we can redirect and just distract and just stop it there. Maybe there's an agreement in advance. I know you don't want to mow the lawn. And what was our agreement? And it says in parentheses here, kindly and quietly wait for the answer. As soon as, oh, I love this one. As soon as, this is a great one. I hope you all start using this. You don't want to go to bed and it's bedtime. Do you want one story or two stories? As soon as your pajamas are on. Ooh, I like how that one is written too. But, as soon as you do this, then we can do that. That's another way to do it. And then the last one, a choice, and then follow through by deciding what you will do, not what you're going to make your child do. So a choice. I know you want to keep playing video games and your time is up. You can turn it off now or I'll put it away in my closet. Oh my gosh, I'm going to use that one this afternoon. That was a good one. Okay, so that is the importance of being kind and firm at the same time. I hope those are helpful and I'll see you in the next video.